Hey everyone, welcome back to Maple Syrup Tech. I'm Rick, and today we're going to be doing a case review of the EVGA DG-73. Now EVGA is a company not particularly known for their cases, but as we're going to see today, if you get this case on sale at the right price, it's one of those cases you're not going to want to miss, and that offers actually a lot for the money. So let's start with an overview of the case so we know what we're dealing with, and then we're going to come back with a more in-depth and specific review. The EVGA DG-73 supports mini ITX, micro ATX, or ATX form factors. The overall dimensions of the case are 472 millimeters deep by 204 millimeters wide and 477 millimeters tall. The case weighs about 8 kilograms or 17 pounds. It comes equipped with two USB 3 ports, an audio in and out jack at the front, and a power and reset button. It supports either up to two 360 millimeter rads, one at the top, one at the front, or you can do a combination of three 120 millimeter fans or two 140 millimeter fans. The case itself comes equipped with two 120 millimeter fans when you purchase it, one at the front and one at the rear. It has an acrylic front and an acrylic side panel. For storage, you have the option of either four 2.5-inch drives or two 2.5-inch drives and two 3.5-inch drives. You have an option for a vertical GPU mount, and the case also comes with a power supply mounting bracket. First thing I would like to talk about the EVGA DG-73 is the pricing. The reason why is because normally on the channel we focus for really budget cases, and although the regular MSRP of this case is $90, that's not the way we're going to be reviewing it today. The reason why is because almost 50% of the year this case is on sale on the EVGA website or at different retailers for around $40. I picked this one up for $40 Canadian, which roughly works out somewhere around 35 American, which is actually pretty crazy for what you get with this case. And I'll be honest with you, as you'll see in the review, at that price, $35 American or 40 Canadian, this case is actually unbeatable on the options and the quality it offers. Primarily, what allows EVGA, I think, to do this is that they use the exact same tooling in all the four cases that they offer, all the way from the $90 model to the $200 model. What that means is that the frame itself and the mounting system for the storage and the front side of the case is actually the same between the $90 variant and the $200 variant. So when you're getting this case on sale at $40, you're basically getting the tooling of a case that is supposed to go all the way up to $200, which is actually pretty insane, as you'll see as we go through. Now we're going to start with the face. What is really exceptional at this price point is the options you have for mounting fans and radiators. Normally at this price you rarely see any water cooling options. However, on this case we actually can fit up to a 360 millimeter rad, as I said in the description, at the top, and even one at the front. And the clearance for the front rad is really crazy at 128 centimeters. What that means is that you can fit a really thick radiator in this case, no problem. And even the fan support, you have either three 120 millimeters or two 140 millimeters at the top, and the same thing at the front. Honestly, on this price point of a case, you normally never see water cooling and fan mounting options like this, which is really one of the strong points of this case. So we're going to start with all the good. There are a few bad things, but we're going to focus first on all the good. The other thing I really want to point out is that I have the GPU mounted horizontally here, but on this case you actually have the option, and it comes with the bracket, for mounting the GPU vertically. That's another thing that you never see on budget cases that you get on this one. The only thing is that when you have the DG-73 or the 75, which are the two entry-level models, you don't get the riser cable included with it. So yes, you have the bracket, yes, you have the option to mount it vertically, but you'll have to buy the riser cable separately, which is something that's important to note on this case. Now, if we go to the rear of the case, Once again, like I said, at this price point, normally you don't get these kind of mounting options. You actually have removable SSD trays, two 2.5 millimeters right here, and two 3.5 millimeters, sorry about that, 2.5 inches here, or two 3.5 inches here. But you can actually mount SSDs to these as well. So if you have the option of either up to 4 2.5 inches, or two 2.5 inches and two 3.5 inches, which is actually a lot of support. And the mounting system is actually really good in the sense that it's easy to mount the drives cleanly. You don't need to seat them at the front, and that's what actually gives you all that space at the front for mounting the radiator, since all the storage drives are here at the back. Now, when you come to the front, remove the acrylic panel, you have a magnetic dust filter. And honestly, it's a really high quality with a really good mesh on it. Once again, for 40 bucks, you never get this on a case normally. And I'm reviewing today, like I said, really based on that $40 price point. These are incredible options for that type of case. You also have a removable dust filter at the back for your power supply. And you have the mounting bracket for that same power supply, which we looked at earlier in the description of the case. These are great options at this price point, and honestly, this makes this case a shoo-in for the best all-around case I've ever tested, under $50, okay? And even at the $90 price point, theoretically, this case is actually very good, meaning that I would not feel gypped buying it full price. The only thing for you guys out there is I would recommend waiting because they go on sale so often. Now let's talk about the down points of this case. Number one is airflow at the front. Unfortunately, because the whole front is closed off by the acrylic panel, except for this one little perforated slit on the side, you're actually not getting a lot of airflow coming from the front when you have the panel on. Two options to solve that, however, if your build really depends on heavy airflow. Number one, you can actually have the case with the panel off. Aesthetics, you'll lose some. However, airflow, you'll be boosted by enormous amounts. Or number two is you can actually use the top of the case as a air intake. However, there's no dust filter at the top, meaning that if you're in a dusty environment, you're going to be pulling in a lot of dust into your case. Those are the two easy ways to solve that. And like I said earlier, at this price point, this can be very forgivable. And if you're using this with a low power budget system, no matter how you set your fans up, you're going to get enough airflow to cool your system. You'll only run into those problems if maybe you're running really high-end parts that pull a lot, or parts that pull a lot of power. If you're running radiators, you're probably not going to really care that much about that, because you can stick a radiator at the top and solve most of your dust problem. The second problem with this case, and you've maybe noticed it a little bit in my build, is there's actually not a lot of tie-down points for your cable management. The case is actually pretty easy to build with in the end because you have this really deep section here. However, if you look, there are no cable tie-down points. So I've had to sort of, make my own by tying the cables together. And that's actually really just disappointing for a case that has so many strong points other than that, because it would be really cheap just to make a couple of cutouts where you could actually tie the cables down. You have a couple of points here on the on the other section of the case, but that's not really where you would want the majority of your tie down points. You would want them in the deep section where it's actually a lot easier to stuff your cables and route them around to get them out of the way. But once again, at this price point, these are minor issues for this case. And honestly, I don't know why this case actually wasn't talked about more. Possibly because at its full price, it's just equivalent with the other cases out on the market. It's nothing special. However, because EVGA runs the prices so low on such a regular basis, the DG-73, or even its big brother, the DG-75, where basically the only difference is you're getting glass panels, it's honestly one of the best buys you can make for 2018 for building in a budget case. Because for $40, you're getting a case that basically has all the options of a $100 case. Honestly, this is one of those cases that was really fun to review and that I think was really overlooked this year. So if you guys get your hands on them, and actually if you are looking at this video at the time I'm going to be posting it, the DG-75 should still be on sale for 60 bucks, and for $20 extra with the tempered glass, it's still an unbeatable combination. So I hope you guys really liked the review. I hope you guys, learned a little bit more about the EVGA DG-73. And honestly, if EVGA keeps going on this path of really building some really nice, decent cases, I can see them really getting themselves a good part of the market share. If only people can start talking about these cases and letting, knowing what great value they are. So, hope you guys liked the review. Like I said earlier, please like and subscribe. It really helps the channel a lot. And I hope I'll see you guys in the next one.